So good morning, everyone. We'll begin with the reflections on universal well-being. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intention, all beings are the owners of their action and inherit its results. Their future is born from such action, companion to such action, and its results will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts they will be the heirs. So good morning. We'll continue to follow Reverend Hung Shui and Mardi on their pilgrimage today. This entry is by Reverend Hung Shui, March 19th, 1978, titled, Because We Remember. Big job. Master Hua to the bowing monks. You're beginning in the smallest of places to do the greatest of work. We often hear from the windows of passing cars, get a job. Praying for peace is a job, an important work, little understood in the speedy, greedy modern age. Hearst Castle crowns the cliffs above us. The flat blue Pacific winks and glistens to our left. Between these two extremes, ultimate greedy existence and ultimate impersonal emptiness, what in the world really matters? The Buddha teaches in the Dhammapada, do no evil, offer up all good conduct, purify your mind. This is what all Buddhas teach. Cultivators work at stilling their minds, reducing greed and anger. They contemplate according to the proper views of ancient wisdom. That's a full-time job. We cultivate because people should cultivate. It's our basic share, our responsibility. We dwell in the world for only a few decades of productive years. It's a chance to create merit and benefit others, or make offenses and increase suffering. When the bowing gets dreary, we remember the atomic bomber patrols thundering into the sky every morning from Point Mugu Air Base. We remember the shadowy fleets of missile subs that trace the coast by night and day. We remember the millions of men in uniforms reluctantly trained to kill, to destroy peace, and make widows and orphans. We remember the cruelty of modern weapon technology, making smart bombs and death rays. And because we remember, we return to the bowing with renewed vigor. So yesterday, we were down in Redwood Vihara, and doing a little bit of work. You could say our job is to kind of take care of Redwood Vihara. And on the drive down, one of the men was listening to a talk by Ajahn Sona on loving kindness. And later he shared with the group one of the insights that he heard that I thought was quite helpful. He said Ajahn Sona was saying, oftentimes we think that to get things done, we have to get a little bit angry, a little bit forceful, to get things done, to get the job done. And he says, no, you can actually do everything with just loving kindness. It's a much better fuel to put in the tank to get things done, rather than putting, you could say, some kind of poison in our bodies. We can still get things done, but what happens is a lot of tension and ill will, aggression, and oftentimes injuries. And so I was reflecting a little bit about yesterday as we were working at Redwood Vihara. So me and another man were kind of taking down some of the signs at Redwood Vihara. The previous owner of the house was a big Texan, maybe 6'2", 6'3", and he would greet visitors at the front door with a shotgun. And so he had put up signs, you're in range. If you can read this, you're in range. I mean, you're in range of my gun. Or you have a picture of a person with a sniper, basically saying, keep out, or else you're going to meet me and my gun. I remember in the past, some of our kind of visitors would come driving to the property, and they were a little bit nervous. I remember some of the women would come in and say, I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. I hope I'm not in the wrong place. Why are all these signs up? I thought I was coming to a Buddhist monastery. So we thought, okay, we should take these signs down. It's been quite a while, we put them up. We should take them down. So me and another man were doing this. And to be very honest, we're not very capable. I grew up in Silicon Valley. Most of my skill sets involve using a computer. Using a tool is like, which hand am I supposed to hold it in, And so the first thing, okay, we got to find the ladder. Where is the ladder? So a person tells us it's at Karuna House, which is another building. So okay, let's take a look there. We look around, no, we don't see it. They say, wait, it's Prajna House. Okay, so we go to the other building. Go, well, it's not there either. We look around. The person says, oh, I was using it in the place I was trying to build a tiny house. So we said, oh, okay. So we drove the truck up there, and we said, oh, make sure you bring some rope so you don't want the ladder to fall off. So we get one of these little rope thingy-majigs, and we don't really know how to use it. You have to tie it into the thing, and it has to close it, but we don't know how to loosen it. So it's something that probably would take someone with experience, maybe 30 minutes to do. It probably took us like 2 hours. And so we could first try to find the ladder. So we found the ladder, and we tried to tie it down. And we, of course, as we're trying to do this rope thing, we kind of mess up a little bit, to undo it and redo it. And because of this spirit of loving kindness, I think that's already been established in the property, in the place. Just as we go about doing these things, just make sure the body's relaxed, everything's okay, no problem. But in the back of my mind, I'm paying attention, saying, okay, I know that I'm not so skilled in these areas. So I'm paying attention, how does these things work? What can I learn for the future? So okay, so this little rope majig thingy, I can see you string it through there, you pull it over, and then you You kind of use this mechanism to tighten it. Can I note for the future? But right now, I can't do it any faster. I don't know any better. I can scold myself for being stupid, but what benefit does that have? So, okay, we get the ladder, and then we get to the sign. When we get to the sign, we try to pull the sign out with our hammer. And lo and behold, it's one of these screws that's screwed in. So you use the hammer, you can't get it out. Like, okay, this is not really working. So we basically pound the sign until the sign falls apart, and we get it down, okay. So number one sign. We get to the other sign, and we realize the sign that if you can see this, you're in range, and it's completely metal. And so we realize, okay, you're not going to be able to pound this sign into pieces. So we look at the screw, and it's one of these star head screws. Okay, so we go, okay, I have to go find this star head screw. So we go back to the garage, and we start looking for this screw, the screw gun for taking this out. So finally we find the right tool. Okay, we go back. We go back to the place, we put up the ladder, and okay, we get the sign out. But we accidentally, or I just dropped the screw into the pile of pine needles on the bottom, and then we spent a while looking for the screw. We couldn't find it. The guy looking all around, says, it looks just like the pine needle. And so it's like, okay, note for the future, don't drop screws into the ground of the forest floor. So another thing to learn. Okay, so we get that sign down, and we get to this other sign. We thought, okay, it's going to be the same screw, right? No problem. We get there. Nope, it's a Phillips screw head. So we tried it with the screw, which is a kind of star head, and we try to get it out. It's like, nope, doesn't fit. And you go, okay, this is not working. So again, it could be frustration, or it's just say, relax. Everything's okay. Note for the future. Make sure I check all the screws of what I need before I start this project. Or maybe in the future, just bring all the tools that you'll need, Note in the future, Phillips screw head, probably flat screw head, star screw, hammer, so on and so forth. And then as we're doing that, the sheriff drives up. Oh, a sheriff. What's going on? Is there some kind of crime going on in the area? What's going on? Sheriff drives up. So out come two sheriff, both female. And they're saying, well, there is an evacuation warning because of debris flow in the area, and you have to evacuate by tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Said pretty formally, like you're going to have to go. And so we said, okay, yeah, really appreciate you letting us know. We'll make sure we get out by this evening. And just sharing with them our appreciation for their letting us know. And I don't know if the other men felt it, but I actually felt them soften a bit when we were talking to them. My sense is that oftentimes when they're reminding people or letting people know, they don't know what they're going to meet. Some people might actually be aggressive, like, get off my property. I'm going to do whatever I want, But to be able to meet people to say, really appreciate your care. And we'll make sure that we take care of ourselves and let other people know. And the exchange is just very friendly, very simple. As Reverend Hong Sure said, the greatest work begins in the smallest of places. And so as a group here, we packed up. Everyone, I think, was very tired, but we did what we could to make sure the house is secure, and smoothly came back to the monastery. The driver was listening to talks on loving kindness. And it's just, you could say, the protective field of care just carried us through the experience. And you could say, from one angle, nothing happened. Just another normal day. But in my heart, it's not just nothing happened, a lot happened. Another day where we could just enjoy cultivating and being in this field of unconditional support from each other, for each other, and for ourselves. So I invite you to start in the smallest of places, which is our intentions, and see if we can just relax and say everything's okay. I'll just do what I can with care. And if anything that doesn't go well, I'll learn from it. Note for the future. Okay, so let's do 3 steps, 1 bow.